Eric Decker had some strong things to say about Peyton Manning and his progress with the Denver Broncos. Listen.
You got to still throw the ball on time, throwing great, hitting you in the right spot, and he's such a perfectionist. You know, if he hits you in the belly button, he gets mad at himself for not hitting you in the chest. And it's unbelievable to be around a guy that has those standards for himself.
What do you make of those comments?
I mean, this is what we've always thought about Peyton Manning, right? We've always thought that he was the consummate professional. We've always thought that he was one of the best quarterbacks to ever play in the NFL. And right now, it seems like, based on this scenario and this situation, that he's now even got something to prove. You know, there's doubters out there about Peyton Manning, and can he continue at the Hall of Fame level that he was before last season? And so, yeah, I expect Peyton Manning to be on the practice field right now. I expect while most quarterbacks are sleeping, Peyton Manning's on a practice field with the quarterback's coach. This doesn't surprise me at all. And to get some validation from a guy he's going to be throwing to next year says a lot to me.
This reminds me a little bit, and Skip will remember this, when Joe Montana left and came to the Kansas City Chiefs. I was actually the secondary coach. And the first thing I realized when he walked into the locker room, now we had some stars. We had Derek Thomas, Neil Smith, some very good football players. But all of a sudden, Joe Montana comes walking in that locker room, and all of a sudden a celebrity arrives. Even though it's Joe Montana. But the next thing is how he went about his business on the practice field.
Right.
The offense had all of a sudden their chest poked out a little bit, like we have Joe Montana in the huddle. The way guys broke the huddle, lined up, the way he orchestrated the offense in practice said a lot about what he was bringing to the football team. This is what Peyton Manning will bring to the Denver Broncos.
Changing culture immediately.
Yes, because of who he is.
Can they win a Super Bowl?
Ooh, this year, I say not. I say not.
You trust Peyton will be 100% Peyton Manning?
No. I think you're looking at a guy, if he's 85% of the Peyton Manning, that'll be good enough. Now, they got to help Peyton Manning, as you know. Defensively, this is where they struggle, in my opinion. Still versus the run. And when teams like the Lions, Green Bay, and New England spread them out, they scored 40-plus points.
They did.
That's their Achilles heel. Yeah. Now, they got to help Peyton Manning a little bit with a runner. The offense, they got the receiver, they got a tight. They'll be okay, but the defense has to improve.
Yeah. I don't know, back to your question about can they win a Super Bowl, I don't know if they can win a Super Bowl. I think they can make it to the Super Bowl.
Do you?
And I know that sounds far-fetched.
Winning the AFC, man.
Well, look at it. Well, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough, but I look at it like this. Peyton Manning, the Peyton Manning list Indianapolis coach last year, what did they win? How many games they win?
Oh, 2.
2 games? Okay, so that tells me Peyton Manning is worth 10, 11 wins. Okay? If you transfer 10, 11 wins to the Denver Broncos, a team that beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the first round of the playoffs, no disrespect, with a quarterback that was a glorified fullback, yeah, I think Peyton Manning could take them to the Super Bowl. I think he means that much to that organization.
Great quarterbacks, and Skip knows this, they win 4 games for you in the fourth quarter. He'll be able to do that. They were 8-8 football team last year. I think 11 wins is going to win this division. I think this is going to be a pretty competitive division. You think about Kansas City's going to get well now. They got a couple of their guys back. San Diego will be a better team. We'll see what Oakland's going to bring to the table.
You see it on the screen.
Yeah,
it's second toughest.
It's tough.
It's not going to be an easy road, that's for sure.
Okay, I have proclaimed Peyton Manning the greatest regular season quarterback in the history of the National Football League. And I believe he'll be about 80% of himself next year. And I think they got no shot to win a Super Bowl or to win the AFC. What I'm hearing from Eric Decker is I'm hearing a still young receiver who has some ability, though I thought it was overrated going into last year. But he's gone from a quarterback he had 0 wavelength with. I've never seen anything like it before. Tebow, Decker, even though they were said to be friends and friendly, they couldn't connect at all. They were always a little off. Tebow's fault, I'm sure. I don't know if it's 50-50. They just could not get on the same wavelength. And it was one thing after another. One guy'd be a step off, the throw would be high or low, or on deep balls, except for the one at Kansas City, which was a sweet throw that hit. It was the two completions in 8 attempts, and one of them was to Eric Decker for a bomb. But he has gone from no wavelength to maybe the greatest wavelength you'll ever get. Because this guy, as Eric said yesterday, he gets mad if he hits you in the belt buckle. If it's not on the numbers, Peyton's like, he's upset. Let's run it again. Okay? So that's what he just went from. But I'm with you about your point about we're concentrating on the offense right now, and I'm sure it'll be really good. It'll be a little better than what Tebow did last year.
Skip, this is too easy.
Okay, but wait a second.
This is too easy, Skip. You're talking about Tim Tebow as a quarterback.
Okay, but we're talking about.
They couldn't connect.
Okay, wait a second. Okay, but we're talking about a Broncos defense that was hapless much of the time. Christian Ponder scored 32 points against this defense. Tom Brady threw for 5 touchdowns in the first half of a playoff game.
Skip, I look at those as more as aberrations. If you look what they did,
well, there are a bunch of aberrations.
Broncos, if you look at what the defense did to keep the Broncos in a lot of those games until the last 5 minutes, you have to think that Broncos defense is trending up. They're going to get Duberville back this year. The young linebacker from Texas A&M is going to make another jump. One thing I liked about the Denver team last year was the defense.
Okay, and I didn't. I like the fact that Tim Tebow turned the offense into the #1 rushing offense in the NFL. So controlling clock in football went heavy over to offensive side and helped defense hang into games. You got to give him some credit for that because time of possession went heavily back to Denver's side. And remember, Tebow took over a team that was 1-4, so they weren't shutting anybody out in the 1-4 run. And before that, it was, 7-24 in the previous 31 games, worst stretch in the NFL. So we get down to the age-old question. How much Tebow, how much defense? How much? Was it 50-50? You think it's 10-90, right?
Yeah,
okay.
at least.
Well, the way Denver played it, they played this way, and they had to play this way. Tim Tebow is not the most accurate quarterback, as we know. They were going to play a little bit of what we call stall ball, okay?
Yeah.
They were going to milk the clock in the run game, protect their defense, make it a game where you didn't have to score a lot of touchdowns. Now, the teams that had a lot of success on them early were the teams like Detroit. Green Bay, okay? The New England Patriots. They spread them out and said, you know what, we're not going to play this game. We're going to score on you fast, early, make you throw the football and wear your defense out.
Right.
And that came to fruition. You're talking about all those teams scored 40 or more points. Right. And that's a little bit of their Achilles heel. That, and they still cannot stop the run.
Yep.
That is the problem. Now,
Buffalo, 160 yards.
That's the problem.
Yep.